Hi guys, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. You are here with me, Abby, on the channel Readings with Abby. So, today's pick a pile is going to be a little bit of a long one. We're looking at 1 year from now, but we're doing a versus edition. So, there's going to be 2 parts to your reading today. And the first part will be where you see yourself in a year's time, versus part 2, where you will actually be in a year's time. So I thought this would be interesting to do, and it's been a lot of fun. Very interesting piles, so I hope you guys enjoy. Now, the timestamps, of course, will be down in the description box as well as the comment section. There are 3 piles for you guys to choose from today, and I'm going to give you time in just a moment to meditate on those. You can either choose by the cards or the little 3D crystals that I have popped on the top. And so I'm going to give you guys time to do that in just a second. First of all, though, I do want to say, if you like my energy, if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It's gradually growing, guys. It's making me very happy. So please like and subscribe. If you thought that this reading today resonated with you, I would love to see a comment down in that comment section. Other than that, guys, let's get into the piles. Charman, and welcome to your reading. So today we are looking at where you see yourself in a year's time compared to where you will be in a year's time. And I say that because, like I said in the introduction, sometimes, we have all these dreams and visions for ourselves. It doesn't always pan out the way that we thought. Doesn't mean that we won't get there. Of course, you can always get there with, will, determination, all of that kind of stuff. But it doesn't always pan out the way that we think. So I thought this would be an interesting sort of comparison to do. Just something interesting to see where this leads, where this goes. And hopefully you guys will get something out of it. So we're going to start off with the first part of your reading, which is where you see yourself in a year's time. Now, I have several oracle and tarot here. I have dealt one of my music oracle cards. Now, I did have, there's another oracle, Success Oracles, which I would love to have pulled from, of course. I don't actually have that deck with me right now. So I'm using the music deck, and I understand that obviously not everybody is going to resonate with music or being some kind of an artist in that form. But what we're really tapping into here is not just the fact that these guys are, music players or that they are singers or anything like that, but I want to tap into who they are as people as well. And I feel like that's going to give us the base of what we're going for here, who it is that you really want to be. So I'm going to read out the rest of your cards, and then I'm going to focus on the main energy here with this music oracle card. So let's start with your tarot. So you have the Knight of Cups, you have the Chariot, and you have the Sun. Now, guys, sorry, I have a lot of wind going on outside my window. The trees and the leaves are going absolutely crazy. It's also raining, so I apologize for any of that background noise. We also have in your oracle, for the crystal cards, we have Black Tourmaline, Protection, Libyan Gold Tektite with Manifestation. We have Yang, To Be Fair, Community, and we have Change. And let's go to your main energy here. We have Edith, Piaf. Now, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. She is a French singer. I will explain a little bit about her first, and then I'm going to read what's written on the card. So I didn't take from the book here. There is a book. I wanted to get a little bit more information, so I actually looked her up. I didn't actually know who this was, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I do know quite a few people in this deck, but I did not know this lady, and her story is very, very interesting and sad at the same time. So she was a French singer. She was basically born in 1915, right, in France. And her parents were actually street performers. And her mother left the family to become a singer. And the father was an acrobat. And she traveled around a lot with her father, sort of doing that type of work. A lot of her music is very autobiographical, so she uses a lot of her life experiences and the things that she's been through within her music. So I think a lot of people were really moved by that, and that's, I think, how she really rose to success. But she had quite a life of poverty and hardship. She grew up living on the streets or in hostels. She had a grandmother who owned a brothel. I think she stayed with the grandmother as well. I'm trying to remember the story here, guys. She did have a child at 17, but really, really tragically, unfortunately, this child passed away at the age of 2 years old from an illness. And it wasn't until 1935 that her life actually changed. She was busking in the streets, and she was noticed by a man who owned a nightclub, and he basically gave her a job being a singer in the nightclub. And she ended up actually being able to work with a lot of other famous singers and performers. And so that's when her career really sort of started to take off. And within a year of this, she had created several albums, and she'd really become the most famous singer in France. She was the most famous star in France at the time, and highest paid. So despite all this, though, and her success, she still had a lot of tragedy in her life. And she was even a suspect to a murder. A lot of her sort of followers and, the people that loved her stood up for her, and she was not convicted of any crime there. And she also was in several car accidents and tragically passed away in 1936 from cancer. And the story goes that apparently France, on the day of her funeral, France had not seen such a standstill since the war. So she had made a really high impact to France and to a lot of people's lives. But she did have a lot of tragedy before her as well. So she's a very interesting person here in this reading. Now her card says, I'm hoping I say this correctly, nay, regret, rain, or rien, sorry, rien. I'm not good at French, guys. I was never good at French in school, so I might have said that wrong. I'm assuming that is no regrets. And we also have live with every fiber of your being and weaponize your flaws. So some of you may resonate with being a singer. That may be something that you are passionate about, or making music in general. Some of you may resonate with wanting your voice to be heard. Maybe you have gone through a lot in your life and you really want to project that out to the world now. Maybe it's a very healing thing for you to share your experiences with the world. And we do have the card of community here too. So I do see that, you guys see yourselves as being a part of the community in some form, perhaps whether that's being some kind of famous person, a star, or just, being some kind of figure to be looked up to, or to be related to. in a sense. Maybe there's things about you feel like you've gone through, you've done, that's very relatable to a lot of the community. But I definitely seeing yourself as being an integral part of the community in some form. And with this community card, seeing the rainbow there, perhaps, yeah, again, maybe you feel like you could be the rainbow in some people's, after some people's rain in their lives. So that's very interesting there, and she is a very interesting lady. If you are intrigued by what I've said, you may want to go and look up a bit more information about who she was, because it is a very, very interesting story. So let's have a look at your tarot here. So with the Knight of Cups, pile 1, this is somebody who is in touch with their emotions. Someone very kind, understanding. And knights are all about action, right? You see them on their horses in the Rider-Waite deck, charging forward, yeah? So they are ready to act on what it is they wish to manifest or what they desire. And we do have the manifestation card here. So this is what your desires are in a year's time, where you hope to be. It's got something to do with something you are manifesting or something you hope to be in the process of manifesting within a year. This could be something creative. Again, the Knight of Cups can be quite creative, being in touch with their emotions. So it can be an inspiration. They can be an inspiration for the work. That can be an inspiration, for the work that they do, is what I'm trying to say. So creativity might be the driving force here. So like Edith, right? Perhaps you guys see yourself doing something really from the heart and something that speaks to you personally, or rather that you feel that what you want to do or create is an expression of yourself and your life. I mean, knights can be seen as the humanitarian, so maybe with this community card here, sorry guys, so as I was just as I was just talking about that, my left palm is itching like crazy, and if any of you know, a lot of people think that means money coming in, but it can be something coming your way, maybe opportunities and stuff as well. So that's very interesting. My palm is literally so itchy right now, my left. So anyway, so I was talking about knights can be seen as the humanitarian. So maybe with this community card here, you see yourself as somebody who really wants to be in the community. Like I said before, sharing your experiences, helping with others, wisdom and knowledge that you've gained, just to be maybe a relatable person that people can really connect to on a soul level. And I think it's interesting that we have the Yang card, because that represents the divine masculine, right? Now, the divine masculine is not about emotions. It's all about the head over the heart. And so perhaps some of you are wanting to move out of this divine masculine energy and really embrace your divine feminine. Tap into more of the heart, express your feelings, more in touch with your emotions, right? And bringing them up to the forefront, to the surface, yeah? But also the Knight of Cups can be about, like I said, head over heart. But in terms of decision making, going forward, maybe you see yourself in a year's time being led more by your heart than your head. So if you resonate with that right now, maybe being more in your divine feminine and acting more from a practical and analytical type of energy, right? Which you may be doing now. We do have the card of protection here, and I want to say that I feel a few energies coming through. So I'm going to tap into each of those because, of course, this is a general reading. So You know, there's going to be a few things for a few different people, right? So for some of you, it's really important for you guys to know right now that you are divinely protected. And for some of you, it's about feeling like, for some of you too, this is you knowing that this, whatever you're trying to manifest, this dream, whatever you want to become, this is divinely protected also. Yeah. This idea, this project, whoever you're trying to become, whatever you're trying to achieve here, this is also divinely protected. So some of you need to hear that, yeah? You and this is protected. For some of you, it's about feeling maybe you've had to protect your heart a bit, maybe not being able to express your true self or your feelings and emotions. And that could be why the Yang card is showing up as well, right? Perhaps you felt you've had to be in that divine masculine energy. For others of you, it feels like whatever you dream of, whatever you're trying to manifest here, or have tried to manifest, you feel very protective of it, right? Perhaps you've been worried of somebody stealing your ideas, maybe even scared of being vulnerable with those close to the heart, with that close to the heart stuff, right? That you want to share with the world or express. Protection, you know, in terms of the black tourmaline, of course, you know, this gets rid of negativity. It gets rid of, you know, it's good for darker energies and all that kind of stuff. You may want to keep some of that around with you at this time. But you may also feel that as well, like, you know, maybe you're fighting off negative people, energies, opinions, all that kind of stuff as well. But again, there's that reminder, you are divinely protected. This is divinely protected. We do have the To Be Fair card, which makes me think of the Justice card. And of course, she is seen here on this card with the scales attached to her. Now, on one side of the scale, we have an egg, right? Which to me represents, you know, the new, a birthing of something, right? It also makes me think of what I just said about protecting an idea, right? Because any animal that lays an egg, they sit on it. Maybe this is something too that you guys have been working on for quite some time. Maybe this is an idea you've had in your heart for some time, and only now you're thinking about actually turning it into something, right? Because, you know, how these animals, some of them, they lay on the eggs, right? Before hatching. But they watch over it, they nurture it, you know, very protective of it. And why wouldn't they be, right? It's their baby. So maybe whatever you're wanting to achieve in a year's time here, pile one, or whatever you're starting in a year's time, for some of you, this is you getting more to that sort of achievement stage, right? Almost end goal stage in a year's time. But some of you, it's actually finally getting that courage to start this up in a year's time. That's where you're hoping to be. But, you know, perhaps this could be a baby, like, you know, in a metaphorical sense, of course, something close to the heart for you, something that you've created from start to finish, you know, your idea solely, something that you've birthed. Now, on the other side of the scale, we have a fortune cookie with nope written on the paper. And we do have the owl sitting atop her head, which makes me think of her tapping into her inner wisdom. For some of you, I'm immediately feeling that what you desire here, what you're trying to manifest, might not be something that everybody agrees with, pile one. Perhaps you've had to weigh up your options, tap into that Knight of Cups to see where your heart lies and what you are feeling to decide, do I go with this idea, this dream, whatever you're creating to be a part of your life and reality, right? You will know what to do. That's what I'm hearing, pile one. Again, that inner wisdom and tapping into that Knight of Cups. You will know what to do and what the right choice is for you. For others of you, This can be about, maybe you've tried to manifest this in the past and something happened to where this didn't come through for you. Maybe you felt there was an injustice involved here. Maybe too many people got involved. Again, that community card, right? And things didn't go as planned. And, now it's the time for this manifestation, right? We do have, things like divine timing and stuff at play, right? So maybe now is the right time for this. Again, you will know. Spirit says you will know. We do have the change card here, as well as, so some of you, maybe some things needed to change in order for you to be in this right place in your life, for this to happen. Maybe a lot's going to happen in the next year, guys, for you to be in that right position, to finally start this up, to take this on, right? Rise to the challenge, I'm hearing. And, of course, the horse here is in the sky, so rising, literally, to the challenge. Maybe this is a change of perspective as well, again, being in the sky, right? Seeing things from high up above. Maybe you're changing other people's perspective as well. Maybe people are seeing your idea in a different light. Maybe they're seeing you in a different light through you expressing yourself from the heart, right? Or from this project coming from the heart. Maybe people didn't believe in you or told you that what you're trying to manifest and what you want isn't possible. But look at Edith, right? I went to say Edie too, because my nan's name was Edith. And I also have a great-grandmother named Edith. But yeah, so my nan's name was Edith, and I went to say Edie because everyone called her Edie, right? So that may be something for you guys. Maybe your name's Edie. Maybe your name's Edith. Maybe that resonates for you somehow. Or maybe your grandma's supporting you in this, right? Maybe grandma's coming through. But she had a difficult life, but she made it happen. She was discovered. She became a voice for many people. She shared her passion with the world. We do have the Chariot. For some of you, this could be literal travel involved. Maybe you see yourselves even living in a different state or a different country in a year's time, pile one. This card can also talk about feeling like you are pulled in different directions. So maybe, like I said, with the To Be Fair card, you feel like what you desire or what you want isn't necessarily accepted by people. Maybe people are trying to get you to go in opposite directions. Maybe you're stuck, sort of weighing up, do I follow my heart? Do I follow what the wants of others are? And I want to tell you guys right now, pile one, and I am speaking from experience here, you do not want to live your life through the life of others. You're unique. I'm unique. You're unique. We're all unique. And we are all meant to follow. If we were all meant to follow one certain path, right, or be one thing, we would all be the same people. Built the same personalities. Perhaps we'd even look the same. But we're not. Again, like a past reading I did, I'm quoting that Hanson song, Child at Heart, right? You are no mistake. That's what it says in the song. It's a beautiful song. You are no mistake. You guys, you came here to learn, to grow, but to be something extraordinary, right? Carpe diem. Seize the day. Don't live your life for others. Live it for you. And actually, I want to quote that movie now. It's one of my favorites. If you have not seen Dead Poet Society, guys, check it out. It is all about a group of guys, boys in the 50s going to a boarding school with all these strong traditions, right, and beliefs. and they're all told to follow this one thing. You know, all the parents have these expectations of them. Again, this may relate to your situation here, which is why I'm mentioning it. People have all these expectations. Well, you know, you're going to become a doctor, a lawyer, a banker. That's what all their fathers and mothers have done, right? Well, fathers, sorry, 50s, a lot of women didn't really, not many career women, right? But particularly the fathers, you know, you're going to follow in my footsteps. You're going to do what I did, you know. And the one of the main characters, Neil, and this is very true to you guys, right? His father wanted him to become a doctor. Because in a way you could say it came from a place of love. He wanted his son to grow up and have a lot of security. He didn't see security in what he didn't understand. He didn't see security in things that weren't sort of in that divine masculine way of thinking, you know. And of course, you know, being at this boarding school, it's all about tradition, honor, excellence. You know, that's what they say at the start. That's their motto for the school, right? Tradition, honor, excellence. You get this new teacher that comes in to teach English, right? Played by Robin Williams, so that might encourage you guys to watch it, right? If you like him as an actor. A guy who believes in kids learning to think for themselves and learning to do what they want to do, follow their hearts. And he starts teaching them through poetry. He starts telling them, you know, you guys can learn to think for yourselves again. You can be your own people. You don't have to do what these guys are telling you to do. You don't have to be what other people expect you to be. Sadly, the movie does take quite a tragic turn. The Neil person that I talked about took on the ideas of Mr. Keating, which is played by Robin Williams, right? And decided to enroll in for a main part of a play, which I believe was now I'm going to forget. I forget, but it was a Shakespeare play, I think. I forget now. Could have been Macbeth, but I think it was Shakespeare. Anyways, he gets the main part and he's really excited about it. But he realizes he can't tell his father, right? Because his father would just go ballistic, wouldn't allow him to do the play. But yet he has to get permission from the principal. So he fakes a letter from his father to the principal saying, yes, I allow my son Neil to be in this play. The father finds out about it and basically tells him he has to drop the play. He doesn't. Behind his back, the father's back, he continues to do the play because it's true to his heart. He's realized that he has passions for things that he didn't know he had passions for. And the outside world is telling him no, but his heart is telling him yes. Right? And as I said, this ends in tragedy because unfortunately he gets yanked out of the school by his dad. His dad says he's going to enroll him in military school and all these things and says basically like, you will become a doctor and you will do as I said. And unfortunately, sadly, he ends up committing suicide because he realized that he didn't get to follow his heart or do what he truly wants to do. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be your scenario. Obviously, guys, do not think anything like that. But the whole moral of the story is that carpe diem, go, you know, with your heart, follow your heart. And, you know, there may be a lot of people that don't understand where our hearts lie or, you know, what our true wants or desires are, but they can't because they're not us. Because we are built different. Like I just said, we are different people. So, yes, people may criticize you. People may call you strange or weird. But come on, guys. There is not strange or weird, really. That does not really exist, right? That's just people's perspective. Everybody has different opinions, different perspectives on things, right? And that's just someone's perspective. So, I'm thinking of that quote. Now, I don't know that I'm going to say his name right. Epictetus? I hope I said that right. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. And I'm going to repeat that again. If you want to improve, Be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Now that's drawn my eyes to the Sun card. And that, I know, is how you will find your happiness, guys. By being your true selves, by expressing yourself wholeheartedly from the heart, and depending on what it is that you see yourself doing or desire here, connecting to other people's hearts, getting into other people's hearts as well, emotionally affecting other people, right? Maybe, like I said, you can be that inspiration to change other people's lives as well. Maybe you wish to be an influencer, you will inspire people to take a clue from you. The Chariot also does talk about determination, right? And really seeing your goals through. So if people are getting in your way with their thoughts and opinions, maybe this is where this yang comes in too. Too many people in their divine masculine telling you, what you're doing isn't practical or isn't logical. But tap into your heart and ask what it wants, what you really feel. So to sum this part up, guys, this part one, I think you guys in a year's time, you see yourselves as creating something, or the creators of something, right, that can have an effect or will have an effect on the community. And you sort of being an inspiration to others, an influencer, right? But I do see you guys being something in the community, being seen, shining that light from the sun, right? Shining your light down upon others. We do have that rainbow coming through, like I said, with the community card, Sorry if you heard that, guys. That was my stomach. Sorry. I think it wants to have a say too in this reading, clearly. So, and this could also be something, guys, I'm just thinking now, something that you've wanted to do since a child. This could even involve children for some of you, if this is talking about the community. But this could also just be something that is really going to be connected to your inner child. This may be very healing for your inner child, or something that just really makes your inner child happy. Okay, part one, let's move on to part two, and let's see, compared to this, where you will actually be in a year's time. All right, part one, we are back with your part two. So, first of all, I'm going to quickly run through your cards, and then we're going to talk about that music card that we have. So we're going to do the same thing we did for part one. So we have Janis Joplin for your music card. We'll get back into that, and I think straight off I'm already smiling because I think that fits in perfectly. And remember, we are talking about where you actually are a year from now. So we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups, the Moon, the Queen of Coins, which is the Queen of Pentacles, Purification with clear quartz, Take action with labradorite, Imagine, Loyal heart, Forgiveness, and Adventures. But let's go back to that Janis Joplin card, because, guys, I think that really fits in perfectly with what we were just talking about. Janis Joplin, born in Texas, right? Her dad was an engineer. Her mother worked for a college, I think. But, again, she was born in like the 1940s. So I think, this was a time where, again, like I said before with the 50s, right? You've got these strong ideas of sticking to like traditions and there's just a lot of, I'm trying to think of the word that I want to use, guys, but I am tongue-tied at the moment. But I think you guys know where I'm going with that, right? it was just on the tip of my tongue. Just very, I don't want to say regimented, but in the sense of like things were done a certain way, you know what I mean? Right? And maybe there was, I think pressures to act a certain way or be a certain way or be a certain person. And yeah. But so yeah, she grew up in Texas, right? But Texas didn't suit her very well. She wasn't really accepted in Texas. Um, and I think she was even called, I think, the ugly duckling. At one point, there was someone that made a comment about her being an ugly duckling. She sort of started turning into like a tomboy kind of vibe, with the clothing and everything and the appearance and stuff. And I think that suited her for a while. That worked for her, sort of trying to fit in a bit more, or it allowed her to maybe not stand out as much. I don't know if that makes sense, but but she didn't really fit in where she grew up, and she sort of got into her music career and things. She didn't really believe in herself much as a singer either. So again, I did say to you guys before in the previous part 1 about really tapping into your heart, but also like not being afraid to be thought foolish and stupid, right? But she kind of was a little bit, and at least in the beginning, right? She was worried whether she could really sing, whether she could make it, and what people thought of her, I guess, based on how she was treated back in Texas, right? And sort of not fitting in. And she did leave the nest, right? She did try to make it elsewhere. She ended up not having the greatest experience, and again returned to her hometown with her parents. But, tried to fit in one more time, right? Changed her appearance up a bit, really tried to fit the mold, but it just wasn't her. And, turns out, of course, who she was, well, her own person, but she was a very inspirational person. She was somebody that just lived in the moment. She did what she wanted to do, and really stuck by her truth in the end, didn't she? Very bluesy type sort of person. She loved the blues. I believe that, don't quote me on this. There was a blues musician that I don't off the hand know the name of, that she really loved, I think, and she was able to really sort of copy the voice of that blues singer. But she also really loved Otis Redding as well. And so I don't know if this means anything to you guys, maybe you're a fan of Otis Redding or something, but and she ended up actually doing some acts with him, I think, doing some performances. But anyways, but yeah, she was her own person, and I think that really fitted, that Woodstock kind of vibe that she ended up obviously performing at Woodstock and stuff, and that whole 70s, free heart, free mind, free thinker kind of vibe, right? And that's what we were talking about before with the movie, right? The Dead Poets Society, about free thinkers, right? Trying to get free thinkers. So again, maybe you're a person who doesn't necessarily fit the norms, right? But again, what is normal, guys? It doesn't exist. Come on. It does not exist. I don't care who says it. And yes, you may find it in the dictionary. It doesn't exist. One person's considered normal is completely different to somebody else's. I really hate when people are like, oh, that's abnormal, or that's not normal, or it's just doesn't conform or something. That's bullcrap, guys. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. That it doesn't exist. So again, you guys are your own people, right? You're your own person. There is no normal, but There is that thing of like what society considers acceptable and so on and so forth. So you may feel like somebody who is having to try to fit those societal sort of like expectations and things, and maybe you feel like you should because I don't know, people are telling you it's the right thing to do, but it's not you, right? At the heart of it, you know that it's not you. I literally just heard a ding in my left ear. So some of you may really have resonated with that. I definitely resonate with that myself. Yeah. So this is about being your own person. So I think we're talking about where you actually are a year from now. You guys have transformed. I feel like you really have into somebody that is following your own truth. And we have the words here on the card. Evolve, right? But don't compromise. And we were talking a bit about that in part 1. You're all you've got. Yeah. And that's the thing too. And I have had to kind of learn that as well. It's weird, right? We go through this thing in life where we're brought up to be sort of codependent, right? We rely on our parents a lot for a lot of things. We look up to our parents. We want their approval. We want, praise. We want all that kind of stuff, right? And we grow this strong attachment, right? And we sort of start doing it with the outside world as well. You leave the nest, or you're not around your parents anymore, you don't have your parents around, you sort of look for it in outer sources. It's kind of like, you sort of think you should have that codependency. Does this make sense, guys? Like, you sort of become a bit more reliant on other people as well, or you feel like you should respect and listen to all the opinions of people and what they're saying you should do, and things like that. And some people take it more to heart than others, right? But the thing is, people come and go in your life. And I want you to have a think about it right now, because I can tell you right now, in terms of my life, there's a lot of people that have told me, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and telling me how to think, telling me how to act. They're not in my life anymore. And yet, in some ways, and for others of them in all ways, I listened to those people. And I made decisions, I made choices based on what they were telling me. Yet they're not in my life anymore. So what relevance now does it have that I listened to them, or that I took on that information, or that I respected, in a sense, their wishes and did what they told me to do, or what they thought I should do, right? Do you see where I'm going with that? So isn't that funny? So realistically, think about right now who you want to be, who you are at the core, right? And what other people want you to do or be. Weigh those up, like we talked about before with that, to be fair, right? Weigh those up, because at the end of the day, like Janice says here, you're all you've got. These people that are telling you all these things, they're going to come and go, right? There's no guarantee that they're going to stick around. There's no guarantee that they're going to be there, even if they are family, for instance. There's no guarantee that they'll be around forever, right? So at the end of the day, you're living your life for who? You. That's right. So we also have the power of love must replace the love of power. Yeah. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You are far more greater than some of your fears. Yes. So again, like I said, Janice, right? She feared rejection, right? She didn't know that she thought she could sing. I think, she obviously did have some belief in herself, but at the same time, there was that fear of like, what if I'm not accepted? What if, people don't like my singing, what I sing about? Maybe they don't like my tunes. I don't know. But she wasn't that confident in herself. But yeah, look what she turned into. Look at the influence she was. How she made a mark, in the world, right? So just think about that. You are far greater than the sum of your fears. So if anything is holding you guys back in following your heart, don't listen to it. Don't let your fears hold you back. And look, guys, we're talking about where you are a year from now. You're already Janice, right? So we're going to already assume that you've overcome those fears, if you have any right now, in a year's time, right? You're following your heart. We've gone from you guys going, oh, I really wish I could. In a year's time, I see myself being this person, but I don't know. Because I've got a lot of outer stuff going on. I've got, can I follow my heart? Will this happen? Should I do that? Should I just do what everyone else wants me to do? But this is saying you're already achieving that. You're in that energy in a year's time. Now, I did say for some of you in part one that this was some of you already acting on that idea, already thinking about a project, already wanting to take action on that project, where you saw yourself in a year's time. You were either doing that project or you were just about thinking sorry, that makes no sense, guys. You were just at that point of starting to, turn it into something, right? Make it a reality. And we have the take action card here. So in a year's time, for some of you, if that resonated, you'll be at that point where you're ready finally to take that action, right? To be who you want to be, to do what you love, right? You're taking that action. For some of you, you've already taken that action and you are in that Janice energy. And for others of you, you're finally taking that action. And again, with that purification card, this is you really stepping into your truth, being true to who you are at the core, right? For some of you too, this may just be a confirmation that this pile is yours. Janice too, she was bisexual, I think. So she was into both genders. So that may be a confirmation for some of you that this is your pile. But again, I'm not wanting to really go into gender or anything too much here, because of course this is a general reading, but that just may have been a little bit of a confirmation for some of you. But yeah, she really lived her life sort of doing what she felt like at the time. I think she was a very impulsive person. Spontaneous is really what I want to say, right? Quite the oh gosh, what's that word? The pleasure taker. Gosh, what's that word, guys? Hedonist, right? Yeah. So some of you may be that. The pleasure seekers. Finally getting to that point where you're doing what makes you happy, and you really have taken out all the outer sources. You're not listening to those voices anymore. You're not listening to those people. You're not being influenced by others anymore, and you're really going and speaking from the heart. You're acting and speaking from the heart. We do have the adventures card here too. And I think, a lot of adventures are coming up for you guys in a year's time. I think you guys, again, I just want to mention it briefly, we'll go back to this card just because I'm thinking of that spontaneity, right? And I'm feeling like, I think you guys are just going to be up for almost anything. Just really in that moment, let's go here, let's do this, let's do that. Again, this adventures card, I did talk about the chariot being travel in part 1. And this could be that clue to some of you as well, that this is travel related. So maybe some of you are moving literally to another country, or it's something that you're doing that's allowing you to travel the world. And we do have somewhere very tropical here with all the birds, the waterfall, the tropical plants and flowers. So, you could be traveling, to somewhere that's quite a tropical place. Somewhere obviously very beautiful, somewhere that makes you feel relaxed. Yeah. So, all right, let's go back to the tarot cards, okay? So we have the Five of Cups, the Moon, and the Queen of Coins. So with the Five of Cups, the Moon, the Queen of Coins, this makes a lot of sense, guys. Five of Cups can be about mourning, losses, grief, disappointment, right? On the traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite, right, we have the man who is fully cloaked in this black, depressing sort of mourning cloak, if you will. And he's looking at these 3 cups that have been spilled, and yet there are 2 cups still standing behind him. So this card can talk about focusing on upsets, disappointments. This can be looking back at the past. And not realizing that there's still, good things in your life. There's still things that are still standing. There's 2 cups still standing, right? Now we have this next to the forgiveness card. So what I want to say here, things may not have worked out how you guys want, right? So we talked about in part 1, perhaps you guys really thinking that in a year's time you were going to be in this position where you'd already taken that leap of faith. Perhaps, you're already following your heart, being that person. For some of you, this may not be the case. You may still be dealing with or feeling like you're still in that energy, subconsciously or not, right, of, feeling like perhaps you've disappointed some people with the choices you've made, haven't lived up to people's expectations or something. Again, there's that thinking around what everyone else wants me to do, right? Coming from your perspective. Maybe you've been through quite a few things that, haven't exactly put you where you wanted to be at this point. And maybe there's a bit of disappointment there. This could have been maybe some choices were made that didn't work out the way you planned, or maybe, there was some kind of interference in your plans, whatever that was, or however that came about. But there is the card of forgiveness here, okay? So forgiveness is needed, and I feel like this is more towards yourself. For the main part, I feel like, instead of looking back at your past and going, why did I make this choice? Why did I make that choice? Why did this happen? Why did that happen the way that it did? Forgiving yourself for these actions, for these occurrences, right? For whatever was in or out of your control. And like I always say, the forgiveness card keeps popping up in my readings, and I have to keep saying, forgiveness, right, is not about saying that what happened was wrong or right, just that you are making peace with the situation in order to move forward. Yeah, it's a closure thing. So in order for you to turn around and see those 2 cups, there's some forgiveness here that needs to happen, okay? At this point in your life. And this could be forgiveness for others too. Maybe you're looking around and saying, you know what, all those people that didn't believe in me, all those people that said I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't follow my heart, I choose to forgive those people now. I choose to let this go so that I can move forward. And we do have the moon card here too, right? Which can be about trusting your intuition, right? Going deep. This can also be the card of illusions as well. This can also be uncertainty, but this also talks about fears, right? Fears that are stopping you from moving forward. And this can be due to some kind of emotional situation, which is funny that it's right next to the Five of Cups, right? So this may be stopping you from moving forward. This is putting you in some kind of state of fear. And again, going back to that Janis Joplin card, you are far greater than the sum of your fears. So take on that Janis energy. This may be what you need to hear right now in order to change things if you don't like the sound of this right now, right? Because we are in control of our lives, right? We have free will. And, you know, so I feel like you're maybe still in a state of fear for some of you. So maybe where you, like I said, where you thought you would be in a year's time is already in this moment where you are living, you know, your best life. You're living true to you, your heart, everything. But maybe you're still a little bit in that fear. There's still a bit of forgiveness that needs to happen. Maybe this is not where you thought you'd be in a year's time, right? But again, we have the take action card. So I feel like, you know, this is you taking action on this to move forward from it. So for some of you, this is what this is going to be about in a year's time, right? You finally overcoming those fears, the forgiveness, the moving on from the Five of Cups, right? For others of you, we do have the Queen of Coins here. You're already in this energy. You've done the forgiving. You've moved on from the feelings of the energies of the Five of Cups card, right? You've stayed true to yourself. You've listened to your intuition, and you're taking action now to embody this Queen of Coins energy, right? And of course, she's great. The Queen of Coins, right? She's got it all, if you want to put it that way. She can be seen as the mother, right? She can be the family woman, very nurturing, able to, you know, balance home life with the kids and husband, wife, whatever it is for you. Doesn't have to be marriage, of course. It doesn't have to be kids if you don't want kids, but you know, and she balances that with her work life as well. And she brings home the bacon too. She's got the coin coming in. She knows what she wants. She's mature. She's, you know, she knows who she is. She's very strong in herself, confident, right? Now that may seem like quite a distance, quite a leap from this Five of Cups energy, right? But again, back to Janis. Sorry guys, dropping cards. Back to Janis. You are far greater than the sum of your fears. Remember that. And we have loyal heart here too. And it is, being that in one part that it is above the forgiveness card, that immediately makes me think of you offering yourself compassion, right? Compassion to yourself. I mean, this card can be about, you know, love and relationships with other people, Of course, we do have the 2 owls here, but I'm not really seeing it that way, to be honest. I'm just more seeing it as like you giving yourself love. And I'm almost seeing, I mean, there looks like there could be a king and a queen here, but it's kind of almost like you're looking in the mirror at yourself. It's that self-love to me. That's what I'm seeing from this card. But that doesn't mean that none of that comes from an outer source. I'm thinking of the Edith card that we talked about in part 1, and how, I said she was a suspect in a murder investigation, right? But she never got convicted or anything because her fans and all the people that loved her stood up for her and proved her innocence, right? So this could be, people standing behind you as well. And if you are in this Janis Joplin energy, whatever this is, if you're already amongst the community and you've already made yourself a bit of a presence, this could be your followers, this could be, supporters and things really getting behind you and getting behind who you are. Maybe that can be a part of your driving force too, to keep moving forward as well, right? People really falling in love with you for your purification, for the fact that you are true to you and who you are, right? And I'm sorry, guys, I didn't mention the numbers on the card in the previous pile 1. I've just realized that. We do have a 35 here, so that can mean something for you guys. You might be 35. And, that breaks down to an 8. 8 makes me think of infinity as well. And what do we have on the other card here? Imagine 20. I had to look for that then. It was almost like one of those advent calendars. Like, where's the number? 20, right. So 2. 20 or 2 might mean something to you guys as well. I'll go back more into those numbers in a moment. But I just wanted to mention that now before I forgot, because I did in the last part. So sorry about that, guys. But yeah, again, we have adventures. So you guys are definitely, taking that action, right? You're going for what you want. You're being your own person. So maybe, like I said in that Janis Joplin story, maybe you guys have just left Texas. You know what I mean? And you're finally, doing your own thing now. So maybe in a year's time, now you're finally taking that step. Maybe you thought you'd already be there, but it didn't happen like that. Again, with this 5 of Cups energy, something could have come in to disrupt that a little bit, whatever that was. But, you're still going to get there. We still have this Queen of Coins energy. We have the Janus card, right? And we have adventures. With the Imagine card here, this is straight away actually giving me John Lennon vibes. So I'm thinking of, like the Imagine song. But, and again, he was his own person too. I mean, like I said, everybody is, right? And everybody should be. But he was another fighter for that, believe in yourself. And again, we've got that same energy, that peace vibe, right? But I mean, I take this card too, when you look at it, to be following your dreams. You can be anything that you imagine that you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. Now I'm thinking of a lovely band that I also love. Some of you, if you're in Australia, you'll know them. They're a local Australian band called the Cat Empire. And there's a line in one of their songs called what is the name of the song? I love this song. I can't think of the name of the song. But it's on the So Many Nights album, guys. It's number 2, I think. Anyways, I like that I know that, but I don't know the name of the song offhand. Anyhows, the lyric in it goes, I love things that seem impossible. And he just keeps repeating it. And it builds up and it builds up. But it's so true. And this card makes me think of that, right? I love things that seem impossible because people think that you can't do it, right? But you can. The only limitations are the limitations you set yourself. Right? Again, that fear holding you back. You strip away that fear, imagine what you can do, right? Imagine what's possible. So for you guys, I really do think that maybe, yes, in a year, you're not where you thought you'd be. Maybe things didn't pan out the way you thought they would, right? And that often happens. We don't always get that straight path ahead, right? There's twists and turns, bumps in the road, right? Potholes even. But you can still get there. And you guys will. Right? That tap into that Queen of Coins energy, tap into Janice's energy. Take that action to your dreams. Follow your heart. Follow your intuition. Be guided. You are all you've got. Evolve, don't compromise. You are all you've got. I'll say it one more time, guys. You are far greater than the sum of your fears. And I'm actually feeling like I don't need to say any more than that. I think you guys get the message. So in a year's time, you guys are going to be at this point where you are starting to take action on what it is you truly want, right? Who you truly are. And yes, you may have already thought that you'd be there by now. You would have had it by now. Perhaps not. But you're taking action now. Now's the decider. Now's the time. And again, like I spoke about before, divine timing. Perhaps all this you've been through as well. We did talk about that in pile 1, right? How Edith was really autobiographical. She talked about her life a lot in her songs. She sung about what was close to her heart, right? What she'd been through, what she experienced, what she knew, right? Inner wisdom. So maybe, you know, some of all this, the stuff that you might have been through to get to where you are, in a year's time, although might have seemed like something unnecessary or something that was unjust even, but perhaps, you know, it's added to what you can offer the world or what you can project out to the world. It's added to you for sure, right? Because we always learn and we grow from these experiences, no matter what they are. So maybe a little bit more growth needed to happen. Or maybe this has led you to feel even more like you want to be true to yourself and really tap into who you are and express that to the world. This forgiveness is important, guys, so do remember that. That's something that, you know, you guys are going to need to do in order to move forward. And just remember, guys, let go of those fears. They don't serve you. Let go of the past. Let go of your fears. Anything that doesn't serve you anymore, let go of it. There's no sense in taking it forward, bringing it with you. All right, guys, that was your reading. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my energy and my channel. I would so much appreciate it. And if you did enjoy this reading and it did resonate, leave me a comment down below. I would love it. And I will hopefully see you guys on the next reading. Do take care. Lots of love, guys. Blessed be. Bye. I'm here today with a interesting pick a card reading, where you see yourself in a year versus where you will actually be in a year. So we're starting off with part 1, which is where you see yourself in a year. Now, I have tarot and several oracle, but what I've done today, which I explained in part 1, I have taken a card from my music oracle deck, which I love, being a huge music lover, of course, and this is going to be an idea of some main energy that we have for who you will be, what you're encompassing, your goals, all that kind of stuff. Now, I know that not all of you are going to resonate, of course, with the music industry, but what I'm tapping into here is not just the career here that these guys are doing, but also who they are as people, right? So we're going to start off, that's your main energy. First of all, and then we'll fill in with the rest of the cards, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out all the cards that we have here. So let's start off. So we do have the Shakira card, okay? So that's your main card that you guys got. We have the Three of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the Eight of Swords for your tarot. We have Music, Spirit Quartz. We have Cycles with Moonstone. We have the Y card. We have the Fates, Taking Risks, Freedom. Okay? So let's start off with Shakira here. Now, she is, of course, for those who don't know, a Latin pop singer. And she became very famous in both English and Spanish. So for some of you guys, you may be bilinguists. You may speak multiple languages. So yeah, she obviously started off as a Spanish singer, but she ended up learning English and managed to create an even bigger career for herself by singing songs in English as well. And she had a lot of she had an Arabic influence as well. She did a lot of belly dancing and all that kind of stuff in her songs as well. So, you know, some of you guys who are watching may be multicultural. You may have, you know, various backgrounds due to your parents, or you may be, you know, living in another country right now to where you were born. Or I might have some non-English speaking people even coming to this reading. You may be turning on the closed captions. And for others of you, you may be learning a language. Yeah. So, and she was someone too who ended up doing a lot of things. I know she started off in modeling. She did actually, she was into music from a very, very young age. I think at around 8, she was starting to actually make her own songs. And I know that in her young years, childhood and stuff, she went to a lot of competitions, won a lot of those competitions, like singing competitions and things. Where she performed, and then she took her career to modeling, and then she went back to singing, I believe, and then she went into acting, and then she went back to singing again. So some of you guys, I'm feeling in this pile too here, may have aspirations to be in the limelight in some way. So whether that's modeling, acting, singing, something like that, right? But you may have dreams of being seen by, you know, the public, and you know, showing your face in some way, and your talents as well. So her card here does have some lines on it, and first of all it says, "Don't dream about the sunset at midday." So I take that to mean not looking too far ahead into the future, focusing on the now. Because, of course, if we do look too far ahead, we're missing out on opportunities and things that could be happening for us right now. So if you guys are sort of in that mindset, or you guys know that you do tend to do that quite a bit, I would say this is your clue or your bit of advice, really, to sort of focus on the now and be in the present moment. We also have Know Your Rights. I don't know about that one in the sense of, I don't know if she was maybe involved in some kind of legal battles or something. I'm not too sure about that, guys. But I think, you know, in general too, that's sort of knowing your rights as a person. So not just in terms of like legal matters or justice system or something. We have travel is the most effective antidote to indifference as well. So, and that makes sense. Some of you guys, again, like I said, You guys might be from multiple countries, or there could be a mix of backgrounds for you. Or you may dream of living in another country, or taking your dreams and aspirations to another country. Like I said, you guys may be learning another language. But also too, we have the Three of Wands here as well, and that is also about travel. Can be about travel as well. So that's interesting there. All right, so let's get in to the rest of the cards and see where this all pans out. So first of all, I want to talk about the Three of Wands. So this can be, like I said, can actually mean literal travel. We'll go back to that aspect in a minute. But with the Three of Wands, this is about looking ahead. This is about planning for the future. No, sorry, this is more, that's more the Two of Wands. But this is like the Three of Wands is sort of like you've already made the plans. You're sort of more acting on them. This is being able to see now a bit more of what's ahead for you. Because, of course, in the traditional Three of Wands, he is looking off into the distance, and you can see the water as well as the land. So perhaps again too, going back to the travel, this is travel for some of you. Some of you may be, wanting to go literally overseas. This can talk about study and stuff as well, learning. So like I said, with the Shakira card, some of you guys may be learning another language. You may be moving to or planning to move to in a year's time another country to where that language will obviously come in handy, or you are looking to have job opportunities abroad, or maybe those opportunities have already presented themselves or will before the year comes up. This can talk about too seeing what's ahead in terms of challenges and obstacles as well, which helps in the planning of your next move and things like that. We do have the taking risk card here as well, so I feel like this could involve you guys taking some risks in order to be where you want to be within a year's time. And maybe you're already quite aware of that. Maybe you're aware of this sort of, when I see the taking risks, I think of the Fool. So maybe you're aware of this kind of Fool energy that need to take that leap of faith, right, in order to follow your dreams. We do have the music card here as well. So for some of you, this literally could be music that you're interested in doing. You may want to be a singer or some kind of performer, right? And, we do have the Ace of Wands here too, which talks about creativity. This is new beginnings, new opportunities. So there may be an opportunity presenting itself for you guys within the year, right, coming up to that next year that will allow you to take this opportunity. You guys may have already been, for some of you, presented with this idea, and now that's put you in that Three of Wands energy of right, so where do we go from here? Okay. And because that opportunity for some of you has presented itself, if it does have to do with travel, that's where the study comes in, maybe the learning the language, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you guys are already in that stage of preparation for this change in circumstance, right? This new opportunity. And of course, Wands are creative as well. So this, again, this pertains to something perhaps creative. And we do have, like I said, the music card there with the Spirit's Quartz crystal. So for a majority of you, I feel like this could actually be music related. What I'm thinking here with the Know Your Rights as well, this could be to do with a contract. Maybe some of you guys have had to sign a contract or will have to sign a contract pertaining to this opportunity, job, whatever it is that's coming up for you guys. Maybe there's a need for you to have, a really good understanding of what you're signing, maybe even get some legal advice. Also too, this could just be learning, knowing your rights as in like visas and things as well. Yeah, if you are traveling. And we do have the fates here as well. So I do want to say that I feel like, this could be very fated for you guys, that this opportunity comes along, or that, you do become a singer, or you do become some kind of performer, or someone who is out in the spotlight a bit. because like I said, we have the Fates card here. So this could be fated to you from the universe. This could be in your destiny. We don't have the Wheel of Fortune card, which usually implies that, but we do have the Fates card. So, this could be something very fated for you guys. Now, what I do want to talk about here is this Eight of Swords energy. The Eight of Swords can talk about feeling stuck. Now, this may be the energy that you're in right now. Okay. And so maybe this is this first half that I talked about is where you do see yourself in a year, but maybe these are part of the obstacles and challenges that are facing you right now. So with this Eight of Swords, you may, this could be, look, we've been through, and obviously somewhat still going through, yes, a pandemic. So maybe this could be issues with traveling for some of you. Maybe you can't travel. And so maybe that's a blockage for you guys. So maybe you're feeling stuck in that sense. Maybe there's something that is stopping your progression. And right now you're feeling like, I see myself here, I envision this, but I don't know how I get past this obstacle. But remembering with the Eight of Swords, this is about sort of feeling stuck, but there is a solution at hand. It's just that you're unable to see it right now. And of course, I love how, sorry, I'm just interjecting my own reading here, but I love how I always go for all the other different tarot decks because I love how pretty they are and the artwork. And then I always end up going back to quoting what the original tarot or the Rider-Waite tarot depicts. So I always think that's funny, but I never use the Rider-Waite really. I like all my other tarot decks. Anyways, so on the traditional Rider-Waite deck, we have, with the Eight of Swords, someone who is blindfolded, tied up. They have a heap of swords around them. However, there is a gap in the swords in front of them and behind them, so they can move. They're just not aware of it. They can actually escape. They can get free. They think the swords are surrounding them completely when in actual fact, they are not. So there is an out for you guys. So you may be feeling stuck, but this is more energy than anything else. This is more that feeling of being stuck than actually being stuck, right? Now, this could be to do with cycles too, because we have the moonstone here with cycles. Maybe you guys have been going through some never-ending cycles, something you feel you can't break free from, right? Whatever this is for you guys, this is something that, may be holding you back right now. We do have the Y card here. So maybe I feel a few different things with this. I feel for some of you, this is you questioning, how do I get out of this Eight of Swords energy, right? This is trying to figure this out. For others of you, feeling like, again, these repetitive cycles. Why? Why is this happening to me? Why do I keep going through this? This is not where I want to be. This is not who I am, right? But you have the ability to break free from this. You have the ability to escape, to move forward, to get out of this energy. So whatever this is for you guys, pile 2, you can break free, right? You guys can get out of this. And the answer could very well be with this message here, don't dream about the sunset at midday. So you guys maybe are too much in your head about this dream that you have or where you wish to be in this year's time. But by not being in the present moment, this is what's keeping you stuck because you're not in the now, right? You're missing out on all the things that need to happen in the now and that are coming through in the now that can help you break free from these cycles, from what you're going through right now, to put you where you want to be. So for some of you, it's a little bit like you're your own, I don't want to say you're your own enemy, but you're sort of putting those obstacles in front of yourself right now. Do you know what I mean? And I think it is a bit more simpler than you realize to get yourself out of this Eight of Swords energy. And we do have the freedom card here. So, and that's next to the Eight of Swords. So freedom is there. It's there for the taking. But are you going to realize what you need to do in order to break free? Are you going to take that chance, take that risk, right, for your freedom? Yeah. So freedom is there. It does make me think of like birds in a cage. Birds are not meant to be in a cage, right? I really do. I don't quite like it when people keep birds in cages, but especially when they clip their wings and things too. Poor birds. But they're an animal that's meant to be free. They're meant to fly free. And so are you. And it's almost like I'm seeing in my head a bird in a cage with the cage door wide open. But it's like you're just sitting in there on your twig going, I'm stuck. I'm in this situation. I can't get out. Yes, you can. The door's wide open. You're not seeing that though. Because all you're thinking about is, I wish I could fly free. I wish I could be free. Why is this happening to me? Maybe you're wallowing in a bit of sadness, a bit of that maybe victim energy even. Get out of that way of thinking, guys, because that is what's going to help you break free from this Eight of Swords energy. And with both these cards, the freedom and the taking risk, again, on the taking risk card, we have the eagle. The eagle soars higher than any other bird, right? They can fly really high. So this can be about perspective for you guys as well. I mean, this is another clue to travel for me as well, personally. But, so this, again, could be travel for you guys. But with this taking risk card as well as the freedom, this is about perspective as well. And look, I've just noticed this, guys, on this taking risk card. See, there's all these clouds, but then there's that little section there where the clouds are starting to part, much like that Eight of Swords, right? Where it's like you feel the swords all around you, but there's that little gap where you guys can get through. You guys are going to be able to get out of the situation you're in. So if you are in a situation right now and you're in that mindset of, I want this, I really want this in a year's time, but this is not going to happen, get out of that way of thinking, guys. And I want to say, to be truthful, I feel like you guys could be the reason why you feel stuck. Because you're not in the now. You guys are looking too far ahead into your dreams in the future, and that's all great to sit there and daydream. But if you really want to make something happen, got to go out and make it happen. So this Eight of Swords energy, you're not as stuck as you feel, guys. Like I said with that bird in the cage analogy, the door is wide open. You guys can fly out. You can fly free. You can break from these cycles. Okay? And I really feel like that's all that needs to be said for you for part one. So we're going to head on into part two. So I will see you guys at part two, where we take a look at where you will be in a year's time. Part two, we are into your second part, and boy, is it good. Whew, it's good. Starting off with your card here, James Brown. Guys, James Brown. This is the energy that you guys are encompassing. This is who you will be in a year's time. This is where you will be. And straight off, guys, I can't help but do it. I feel good. I knew that I would now. Right? And this is how you guys are feeling for sure. Because I'm going to read out the other cards we have here, and I'm sure if you're looking at the screen, you can already see them. And for those that know tarot, you will already be very excited. But here we go. So for your tarot, guys, we have the Eight of Wands, we have the Empress, we have the Six of Wands, guys, For your oracle, we have courage, healthy body, tiger's eye, and agate. We also have purity, miracles, time to go, and treasure island. We also have the numbers 45, and we have the number 9, and that breaks down to a 9 as well. So 9 is going to be very important for you guys at this moment. So number 9 is about completion, and that just fits so perfectly with this part 2. I can't even, guys. I just right now can't even. So you guys we were talking about you sort of embodying that Shakira energy, you know, you guys wanting to be some form of success, of course. We all want success, but in the limelight. We talked about you possibly having that kind of maybe music career for some of you. And guys, this is success. This is you. Guys, we have the Empress, the Eight of Wands. I can't even. This is crazy. So let's read more about James Brown. Now, I'm not going by the messages on the actual card here, as in the booklet, I mean, guys. I don't have the booklet with me. So I have been doing a bit of pre-research on these guys. Some of the artists I do know, and I know a bit about them, but some I don't. I didn't know a whole lot about James Brown other than him being a soul guy. He actually went through quite a lot in his life too. He went to jail quite a few times and had a bit of a tough upbringing. His mum, I read, left him at a very early age, at 4 years old, I think. So, again, you know, you guys may resonate with this in some form. You may have been through some hardships in your life, but don't let that get you down. And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, guys. Of course, if you've been through something very traumatic, I don't mean to just blow it off like that. But I just mean, you know, success is there, right? And I don't care, no matter what you've been through, you can still make it. You can still, you know, follow your dreams, right? And that's what we talked about, didn't we, before as well? So. The message on the card says, now, of course, James Brown, sorry, again, he was this very sort of sexual presence, you know, did a lot of like grunting and stuff on stage, you know. He was very, what's the word I want to use? I don't know what the word is, but very in his, you know, sort of sexual side of himself, right? There's a word I want to use. It's going to annoy me now. But anyway, sorry, guys. If I do remember, I'll come up with that. Now, we do have the agate card here with the healthy body, so that could be in reference to that. Maybe you guys have been working on your body a bit. You feel really, really good within your body, and things you're just feeling really good about yourself, right? Because a lot of the times too, you know, us working on our body can help us feel better about ourselves as well. It's not just always internal, it's external as well. And so, yeah, maybe you guys are feeling good, right? In a year's time, maybe you've really put in the hard work, the effort there, and maybe that's helped to bring out more of that sexuality, you know, that really tapping into, you know, your sexual desires, who you are, sort of, you know, flaunting it if you've got it, kind of stuff, you know. So the card actually says, knock 'em dead, then leave, which I don't know why. Sorry, guys. I actually find that a little bit funny. But, yeah. So don't quit moving until it's payback time. And the final message there is when you're ready to get on up, it's time to get down. And James Brown, too, was a guy who worked really, really hard. He put a lot of effort into his shows, you know, practiced a lot, and just put all his energy basically into his performance and to the audience. So from what I read, I don't think in his personal life he was maybe the greatest guy towards some people, but I don't necessarily quote me on that. I've just had a bit of a glance before this reading, so to sort of catch up on who he was. But yeah, in general, you know, his stage presence, you know, he definitely left an impression. Yeah. And maybe that's what you guys are doing in a year's time, right? So we do have the courage card here as well with Tiger's Eye. So again, you know, I feel like you guys are already in this, though. I don't think it's about you needing to have courage. I think you've found your courage and you're ready to express it. You're ready to put it out there. And again, with the purity card here, I feel like this is you guys really tapping into who you are, and staying true to you, and your uniqueness. Because, of course, here in the wolf, we have two different colored eyes here. So you may be a very unique person, but that is probably what people are absolutely going to love about you, are those unique qualities. So bring those to the forefront, I feel like, guys, because that's what's going to really make you guys stand out. We have the time to go card as well. And to me, that just mirrors the Eight of Wands. You know, I feel like it's your time now. It's your time to go. Now's the time to shine, to be who you were born to be, who you were meant to be, right? And with the Eight of Wands, talks about, you know, fast movement forward. It talks about, you know, because wands, you know, wands, you know, talk about action, their creativity, but this is fast movement. So things are happening fast for you guys. I feel like in a year's time, I feel like you're not going to know yourselves, in a sense. I mean, I say that, I'm talking about you being true to yourself, so of course you're going to know yourself, but you know what I'm saying when I say that. From where you are now, I think there's just going to be such a huge change. And in part one, we were talking about you feeling stuck, going through these cycles and things. You guys obviously have definitely broken free from that, and you are where you want to be. I feel like with pile one, there was a bit of a difference. Pile one weren't quite, I think, perhaps where they'd hoped to be in a year's time. But for you guys, I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like you're exactly where you wanted to be. And, you know, with the Empress, well, she's creative. She's, you know, she's that nurturing motherly type as well. She can be known as, but also too, she stands, you know, in who she is. She's independent. She is, you know, she's the birther of her ideas. So she's the creator. She's, oh gosh, so many things. She's the lady of luxury a bit as well, you know. So, and we do have the Treasure Island card here as well, guys. So, I mean, for some of you, this could be in a literal sense, and maybe you're really making the money come a year's time. Maybe, you know, this was one of your goals. You really wanted to be in a much more stable financial situation, and that could very well be the case here. You know, but in general, this could just be like, you know, you guys really in that sort of abundant, in general, sort of period of your life, right? And we have the Six of Wands here as well. So the Six of Wands is victory. This is success. So you guys have made it. You've made it to where you wanted to go. We have the Miracle card as well. And on the Miracle card, we have the double rainbow. So the double rainbow, you know, speaks to me, well, like the card says, as a miracle, right? Has anyone ever seen, have you guys ever seen a double rainbow? Put two rainbows down in the comments if you ever have. I think if I remember correctly, yes, I have, but I think it was like many moons ago. I was quite young. So don't necessarily quote me on that. But yeah, no, that's incredible when we see things like that, right? These miracles of nature, of life. But this is what it's going to feel like to you guys, right? It's like that double rainbow. And I think you guys are just not going to know what's hit you. I really feel like you guys are going to look back at where you are now and say, wow, I made it. I got here, right? And this is all kudos to you, right? This is all your effort, all the effort that you've put in. So going back to that James Brown sort of energy, right? How much energy he put into his performances, all the work that he did, all the preparation, all the practice and stuff. this is all kudos to you guys, right, for all that you've done to get yourself here. So I really want to say to you guys, give yourself a pat on the back, because, in a year's time, this is where you're going to be. And it's, I'm going to say it's bloody brilliant. Coming from an Aussie, guys, this is amazing, right? Yeah, so I feel like you're really going to be having all the dreams and wishes that you wanted. Everything that you wanted to attain, I feel like it's going to be there. You guys have really worked hard to get there. I'm struggling to even find more to say. I really just feel like you've gotten where you wanted to get to. And you're living it up. You're living the life. And I think you really are embracing that James Brown energy of, feeling really good about yourself and his stage presence. And I think that's how you're sort of acting and directing your life. It's just coming from that, sort of essence, that sort of energy. This is really incredible, guys. We're in at, I do have a timer coming, so I try not to talk too long, but we're in at 12 minutes, and I really don't know that I feel that there's much more to say about this. I just feel like you guys, congratulations, have gotten to where you wanted to be. It may, for some of you with this tiger's eye, have taken a bit of courage to get there. I will say, I say that in a year's time, you will have that courage. You have had it, right? But obviously, we need to find that courage to get there. So, and again, sort of next to the wolf card, maybe it did take a bit for you guys to really reach in there and find that courage, but you've done it, right? And look where you are now because of it. And, in this time to go card, now there's a door off in the distance, and it's hard to see. It doesn't look like it's open, it's closed. However, I feel like, that you guys may have been heading towards that direction. So when we talk about part one, right, where you guys kind of are now, but where you see yourselves in a year. So maybe you're heading there. But that door, I feel like, is opened because, again, like I said, we've got that Six of Wands, that success, that victory. And you're in that Empress energy, that James Brown energy. You guys are living it up. You really, really are. And feeling good about yourself and your body as well. Looking good, feeling good. And, with that Treasure Island as well, I mean, it does have a turtle on it. So I feel like, maybe this has been a bit of a journey for you guys to get here. And we are talking about a year time frame. But what I'm more meaning is maybe it felt like this took a bit to get here. And again, I was talking about breaking down that sort of victim energy, perhaps for some of you that you might have been in, because we're not sugarcoating anything here, right, guys? Or just, feeling like stuck and then realizing, okay, maybe I'm not as stuck as I feel, right? And maybe it took a while to get yourself out of that or to get out of that way of thinking, but you guys have done it. You've made it. Miracles are happening for you guys. In a year's time, I just feel like there's just a huge transformation, guys. You're not going to know yourselves. And if it is a case for some of you where you're not necessarily fully reaping the benefits in a year's time, you're about to be, right? Because that door, you're so close, that door is going to open. The opportunity is coming. That treasure island is getting, that treasure box, right, is presented to you. You may even see a double rainbow. Maybe that's a sign for some of you guys. You might see a double rainbow. And that victory and success is going to be right there. Someone's going to be knocking on that door and saying, hey, your time is now. Wow. I don't need to say anything else, guys. I am literally going to leave it right here. Well done, guys. Be excited because a year from now, whew, wonderful things are happening. Miracles, guys. Miracles. Thank you, pile 2. This was your reading. I am going to leave it here. I do feel like this was very straightforward. very self-explanatory. So if you did enjoy my energy and the channel, please like and subscribe. If you did enjoy this reading and it resonated, please leave me a comment down below. If you've seen a double rainbow, or if you just want to claim this energy, pop a double rainbow down into the comment section so I know that it's you, pile 2, and I will see you on the next reading. Thank you very much. Enjoy this abundance that's coming to you guys. Be very excited. You should be, because you guys are really coming into something amazing, some amazing times. Well done. Pat yourself on the back a year from now, right? I will see you guys on the next reading. Take care. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. So welcome to your reading. And today we are looking at where you see yourself in a year's time compared to versus where you will actually be in a year's time. So, so each pile's been different. And I think yours possibly is too, but this has been a lot of dream searching, dream attainment, right? Manifestations and stuff. That's been sort of a recurring theme. But they've been in each pile, but it's been in different ways. So let's see what yours has to say. Now, as I pointed out to the other two piles, what I have done is I've taken a card from the Music Oracle deck, and basically I'm using that as the main energy, and then the other cards are the fillers. So I understand that, as I've said to the other piles, you may not resonate with, because these are all musicians, so you may not resonate with music or that as a focus for you or career or something that you see yourself involved with. However, what we're really tapping into here is the personalities of the people. Pile 2, I feel, was about music. So if you've come from pile 2, hello. But yeah, no. So if you don't resonate with the music, that's fine. It's more about, who the people are as a whole, and sort of their life lessons for you, in a sense, because we do have some messages down here with that on the card. So the card that you did get, guys, for where you see yourself in a year is Marvin Gaye. And gosh, as I've said and I've done with the other two piles, I didn't read from the book for these. I actually looked up some information on my own about these guys. I don't know about all of the musicians in the deck, of course. And of course, I know Marvin Gaye and I know his music, some of it. But I didn't really know very much about his background. And it's a very tragic, sad story, which pile 1 was as well, with Edith Piaf. So very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'll go through the basics, but I really think it's more about sort of chasing your dreams, going after your dreams here for you guys. But yeah, poor Marvin Gaye, he had a really tough upbringing. He was an abusive family life. His father was quite abusive physically, emotionally, and mentally to him. And I'm not going to go into all the full details, but it's a very tragic story if you do want to look it up. And essentially, he wanted to be a singer. Ended up joining the military, I believe, or was it the military? It might have been. What did I just read? No, I've already forgotten. I think maybe it was the Marines, Air Force. Oh gosh, sorry guys. But anyways, Defense Forces, right? And he ended up faking a mental illness in order to get himself discharged so that he could continue on following his dreams with music. And his mum was reasonably supportive of this. in the background, his father was not. His father, by the way, was a preacher, I believe. Yeah. So, and the tragic story goes, I mean, he sort of grew up as an adult. We're talking about him as an adult now. One part living the dream, but of course, giving into drugs and all kinds of other things, and yeah, sort of didn't really. He ended up marrying and having 2 kids, I believe, and unfortunately met his fatal death a few years later. His father shot him to death, apparently. So, very, very tragic story. Which, this is not what we're here to go into. But the card says, and these are, true to sort of his character, personality, I should say. Don't fool around with something you cherish. So if this is, and by the looks of the other cards, glancing at them, guys, I think this is about a manifestation, a dream, something that you wish to do anyway. So don't fool around with something you cherish. So yeah, so I think this is a message to sort of take things more seriously. If there really is something that you're wanting to go for, go for it with gusto, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. We have there is madness in love, but also reason in madness. And then we also have a selfless heart is all you need to get by. So, very interesting there. So, I mean, some of you may resonate with having a dream to be some kind of performer or singer. We did have that, I felt, in pile 2. So you may wish to sort of share some of your talents, gifts with the world. Now I'm going to tell you what other cards we have here. So we have in your tarot the Knave of Coins, the Six of Swords, and the Four of Wands. We also have Trust with Pre-Night, Herkimer Diamond Dreams, we have Embracing, we have Relaxation, Flexible, and No Place Like Home. So now, pages. Let's start with the page, which is the Knave, of course. So the page, the Knave of Coins, all about new beginnings, inspiration, the start of a new project, perhaps. Being that he is the Page of Pentacles, this could be something to do with your stability and career and finances. We do have the Four of Wands here, which is all about stability. This could be a new job, a career altogether, or even maybe you're wanting to start your own business, pile 3. That could be a scenario here as well. This can talk about somebody young in age, so you may be quite young, just starting out in life, but for some of you as well, this can just mean the young at heart. So, but the page is at the idea stage, right? So this is where he's at. So he's wondering how to turn these ideas into something most likely tangible, right? Because again, Knave of Coins. You have these ideas and it's exciting and you're pumped up. But how do you make this a reality for yourself? The page can also be about learning as well. So realizing perhaps more knowledge is required to obtain the goals and the dreams that he wishes to pursue, right? Some of you could be thinking that you need to learn more about what you're wanting to achieve. So this could be for some of you basic study or literal school even, taking a course. Maybe if that's your energy now, right? If that's your energy now, in a year, you're hoping to have the knowledge needed to take the next steps, right? Now, if you're not resonating with the study or the learning, and there was a bit of this in pile 2, so maybe pile 2 resonates or you've come from pile 2. Um, so you've got this idea, you've got the motivation, and now you're wanting to make it happen. And we have the Six of Swords here, which talks about moving, right? Travel. Can be literal travel for some of you, but it's a time of transition, coming out of the rough seas and into the calmer waters, right? Leaving behind the old to venture off into the new. So some of you in a year are hoping to be on the move, perhaps out of or away from your current situation. Now we do have the Four of Wands here, like I said. Perhaps some of you are hoping to move house or, settling down, setting up in a new place entirely, maybe a new state or country within a year, right? We do have no place like home. That could be a confirmation about a new home. Or I feel like you guys are wanting to just feel more at home in your environment. So maybe where you live right now or where you are feels you want to be somewhere that feels more right for you, right? Like a soul feeling of coming home. You know what I mean, Puffrey? Sorry if you hear rain too. It's raining outside, so there's a bit of noise. I do apologize. Now, if this is about an idea with this Knave of Coins, a business change in job, okay, feeling like you're hoping to be heading towards more security and stability for yourself in general with this Six of Swords as well, right? Now, there is trust here. And I feel not only to trust in the universe, trust in the process, but also trust and have faith in yourself as well. With the Dreams card here, well, this is just another confirmation that you're headed off in fulfillment of a dream. And we have the card here of flexibility. This is about going with the flow, right? Making things easier on yourself. You may need to bend a bit here and there. Maybe a few compromises are needed in order to make things happen. But as long as you remain flexible during this transition that you're hoping to make, right? Again, the Six of Swords. Things are more likely to work out in your favor. Now, with the Embracing card, it's all about acceptance, being ready for whatever lies ahead. Even if there's challenges ahead, it's about being receptive to what's incoming, right? What's coming your way, what's often said about being, it's more about the journey than the destination. Embracing the new, even though it may seem scary or unknown, it can also be beautiful though, right? With the Relaxation card, I think most of you are hoping to be in a calmer, more at peace kind of vibe. The traditional depiction of the Six of Swords has them on a boat with the swords still on the boat, even though they are leaving the past behind them. And I think, you're going to be making sure, right, that those swords stay on the boat when you get off, And again, the Four of Wands, stability, but also celebration. And that, with the relaxation, can be about you feeling more content in your situation in general, feeling happy, again, that no place like home energy, finally feeling like this is where you belong. I'm hearing for some of you, yeah? This is where you belong. Now, to tie in a bit more of this Marvin Gaye energy, you guys, some of you may relate to maybe feeling like you don't have enough support for these dreams, right? Maybe that sort of contributes to this trust issue we have here, needing to trust yourself, trust the process, right? Now, again, I'm hearing believe in yourself, very important. So whilst others don't, it's important to believe in yourself. Um, yeah, I mean, this is just all about you guys going after something that you truly want. And I think you're really hoping that, in a year's time, you're going to be in that position of either reaping the rewards of this or actually really, starting to take action on this and starting to see the fruits of your labor, that transition, that fruit, that, things coming to fruition, right? And if it is literal travel for some of you, you're hoping to be there by next year, right? In a year's time. You're hoping to be at that new house. You're hoping to be in that new place that makes you feel like you're home. And home in what you do as well. I'm kind of hearing feeling at home with yourself, yeah? Feeling at peace with yourself, feeling relaxed, feeling comfortable in who you are as well. And not being not being ashamed of who you are or anything like that, really wanting to show yourself. I wanted to say show yourself to the world. For some of you, this could be that, but it's like just being in your truth, right? Your authentic self, feeling comfortable with who you are, comfortable where you're at, comfortable in what you're doing, right? Following those dreams with the Herkimer diamond there. But again, it's all about, trusting the process, embracing the things that come your way, being flexible, moving with the tides, right? As I'm hearing now, moving with the tides. But you are moving out of, or hoping to be moving out of the rough seas. So whatever you're going through right now, if it is rough seas that you're going through, you're hoping to be out of that situation and into a much more stable position in a year's time. For some of you, I'm hearing you might even be at a standstill right now. Maybe nothing's moving and you're really wanting that boat energy to come in because you want to get moving, right? Maybe you're at a standstill because of this Knave of Coins energy. You're not sure what next steps to take. And you're hoping. It's kind of like, it's like a story, right? That has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But it's kind of like you guys are unsure about what the middle part entails. And so you've got the beginning story. That's you. You've started with that. And you can envision what you want the end to look like, but you've no clue about the middle part, right? But again, going back to what I said, sometimes it's about the journey, not so much the destination. Interesting, pile one. Pile three. Good gosh, pile three, sorry. If you've come from pile one, that could be why I said that, or there may be a message for you in pile one, so take that as it resonates. Let us move on to your part two and see now where you will actually be in a year's time. Stay with me. Right, pile three, we are on to part two, where you actually are going to be in a year's time. And I have to say, you guys are going to have to do your own sort of a bit of research here if you feel like it on this John Cage guy, because quite honestly, I don't know a lot of, I didn't know a lot about him. I know a little bit now, but it's all very full on. So you might want to look this guy up. But basically, he is known as quite a radical musician of the 20th century. And I am to understand that he used nature and things in his music and all that kind of stuff. I think you guys really should look him up because there's just so much information and there's so much to say about him. I think this is just something you guys are really going to have to take a look into. One of the things that I did read about him, though, was he said he liked laughter over tears. So some of you guys may have a really good sense of humor. Good for you. I'm all for the laughter as well. Now I'm going to read what the card actually says on here. So it says, don't fall in love with your first idea. Now we did talk about in part 1, guys, you having an idea, not quite knowing perhaps where to go with it, but hoping to see the results at the same time in a year's time, right? You want it to be somewhere a lot more stable for yourself, right? So we have don't fall in love with your first idea. So, yeah, I mean, take this as it resonates for you. I mean, I do kind of agree with that a little bit. I think sometimes, we can improve, of course, on things, and there may be version 2, version 3, and maybe it ends up, version 6 is like the better version. But I also disagree with this a little bit in some ways too. I sometimes think, we can sit there and we can tweak and tweak and tweak until our heart's content. But the more we do that, the longer we're extending the time frame of what we're wanting to work on. And nobody's perfect. And even though there are perfectionists out there and we often strive for perfection, it can't always be attained. And I think, sometimes we just have to take a chance on something. So take that as how you interpret it, yeah? We have surrender to chance. And I do think that has to do as well with the previous card in part 1, with embracing as well, right? So just being open to things that come your way. And we have all great art contains at its center contemplation, which is very interesting. And I mean, art is everyone interprets it differently. It's self-expression. Oh God, I really want to say something, and I'm debating not saying it, but you know what? I'm going to say it because I am nothing if not myself. So, I don't know about you guys, but I really hated. I loved art when I was at school, but I also hated it. And I had an art teacher that art to me is self-expression, right? So some of you may be artists, and you actually might not be. It might not be to do with music. It might be because this guy did pave the way for a lot of Art Nouveau and all that kind of stuff. In the actual art, like painting and things as well, I believe. So, like I said, this guy's very interesting. Look him up. But yeah, so some of you guys might be painters or something as well. Maybe you have some really creative thing that you want to get going. You might be a sculptor or some kind of, maybe something you produce with your hands, perhaps. But yeah, so I loved and hated art both equally at school because I had this art teacher, and as I said, art is about self-expression. And yet she was constantly critiquing, well, this isn't right, that's not right, and what are you trying to say here? And I don't like this piece. And I thought, well, if this is me expressing myself, how can you judge, right? If it's self-expression, how can it be wrong? Or how can you, how can we really criticize art? That's the thing that I don't personally get. Right. I think you can interpret it, yes, and you can have many interpretations, but I think to criticize it or say that it is void or invalid or something, I think that's ridiculous because I just heard a beep too, so that was almost like spirit going, yep. But I just think that's ridiculous. But yes, so look into that guy. He's very interesting. But you're working on too, or what ideas you have, or what you're hoping to gain, could be that it offers up a lot of thought in people. Maybe it makes people think quite a bit, or it's something to contemplate over. It's something to get the mind going. Maybe it's a little bit controversial. Maybe it's like this John Cage guy. Maybe it's something really outside of the box for some of you guys, which is great. Go for it. Do it. But let's move on and see what other cards you have. So let's have a look here. Okay, so we have for your tarot, the King of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Seven of Cups, we have Petrified Wood, Ancestors, Azurite, Expanded Awareness, Observer, Take a Nap, Time for a Nap, Protection, and Wonders. Some of you might need to take a nap. You might be lack of sleep right now, guys. That might be a message for some of you. So starting off with the Two of Wands here. I'm starting off in the middle. This is action planning, right? But planning. So this isn't taking the action. This is planning ahead. This is considering your options, like the Seven of Swords being about having choices. The Seven of Cups, guys. Don't know why I said the Seven of Swords. About having choices, right? And as much as it is it's also the Dreams and Illusions card as well. So going back to the Two of Wands, this card isn't so much about acting on anything, like I said, than it is having that clear plan first. So you're thinking about long-term goals here. And again, with the card that we had in part one, the cards, plural, that we had in part one, this makes sense, right? So now twos themselves are about decisions. So that with the Seven of Cups, also this can be talking about taking a chance, right? Stepping out of the comfort zone, seeing what's out there, what's available to you, finding out what your options are with that Seven of Cups. And to talk more about this card, with the Dreams and Illusions, you may find that you have many choices available to you. And you may be that wishful thinking type, right? 'Cause I'm the king of wishful thinking. Right? Sorry, guys. I sing a lot. Anyways. So you might be in that energy or feeling that way, right? Don't fall into the trap of illusions, though. The dreams that for now may be unrealistic, right? I don't like saying unrealistic dreams because I think that's why I just say for now, because I think we can all do what we set our minds to, right? And when we follow our hearts as well. But this is where I think the King of Wands comes in. Now, this guy, he's not much into the creative stuff, even though he's a wand, right? He is the action guy, though, in the sense of he doesn't actually take the actions. This is the thing. He's the leader, right? He knows how to make the action happen. He knows how to delegate, right? He knows how to be a leader. He knows how to lead a team of people, right? It's kind of like that boss energy, right? But he doesn't actually typically do the stuff himself. He's just more, right, the plans are in place. I know how to make this happen. He may not be, for instance, if he is, because we talked in the previous part one about a house for you guys, possibly, right? If that's in the literal sense for some of you. Imagine a house being built. Now, this King of Wands isn't going to say, right, I've got the plans. Here's the blueprint, right? I know how to make this happen. Now, give me a brick and some of that mortar and let's go. No. But he'll delegate to the guys that have the brick and the mortar, right? Okay? This is that King of Wands energy. Now, because this is a general reading, some of you may be coming into contact with someone that has this energy that can help you out. I don't have, there's no clues in the cards here that, you're coming into collaboration with anyone. But I just want to say, just in case it may be the case for some of you, you may encounter a King of Wands type energy that can help you get your ideas going, right? For some of you, you're embracing this energy. Now, we did talk about you guys being the page in the previous, right? That's where your energy is at perhaps now. And wondering, how can I make this happen? Well, a year from now, supposedly you're this King of Wands energy, right? Now you know how to make this happen. Now you might not be the guy that literally does the work necessarily, guy or girl. I'm not speaking. When I talk about this, guys, I'm not trying to be gender specific. It's just take it as it resonates, right? But you guys will know how to turn this plan into something, right? Being sure with this Two of Wands, you have a proper plan in place to begin with. Once you're sure of that, filtering out these illusions, right? You're sure of your options. You know where you want, where you're headed. Then embracing this King of Wands energy to move forward, to go ahead. And like we had here, don't fall in love with your first idea. You guys may want to run away with this Seven of Cups, with that first idea. As soon as you've got something basic on paper, that's it, let's go. But maybe hold on, just have a second's more thought, right? Think about it. We've got the time for a nap card, so that can indicate you guys just taking that break, just sleeping on it, right? This may be a great idea, but wait a second. Sleep on it, come back the next day, and then see where you're at. See how you feel about it. Do you still feel the same? Do you still think it's a great idea? Do you still feel passionate about this idea? If not, that's okay. Go back to the drawing board until you feel you've got something you're comfortable with at moving forward and, turning into something more tangible. Yeah. And yeah, so all great art contains at its center contemplation. So there may be a bit of time needed to really consider whether, you're going for the things that best suit you, right? And that can be in all kinds of ways, whether it's true to who you are, whether it's, what your heart really wants, whether it's practical, whether it is something that is going to get you that stability that you're after. Remembering part one. But look, we do have the card of wonders here. And I do think that in one way, yes, this can pertain to the dreams and illusions, as in you may be sort of daydreaming a bit, head in the clouds, maybe a little bit. Sometimes this makes me think. And there may be a need to sort of get out of that, but also too, this can be, that clue to the wonders that are ahead for you. And this can be an indication of what you're planning too. Maybe this is visually, if you look at this card, some kind of interpretation of what you see in your head, of the wonders, the wonderful things that you see ahead for you, for this project, for what you're attaining. We spoke before about it being travel and literal stability, like home or something. Maybe, again, this is what you're envisioning, something magical like this, something wondrous. Just make sure that it's not an illusion, right? That you're planning properly, and then you can take the right actions. Again, time for a nap, right? Sleep on it. If it doesn't feel quite right, if you're unsure, sleep on it. One more day, guys, is not going to hurt. Or 2 days, maybe even a week. Doesn't matter, right? And remember divine timing, because things do happen. Even though we think that, I kind of want to say, even though sometimes we think that we're more in charge of time, we're kind of not, because there is divine timing. So in some ways we think we've lost time or we've gained time, when in actual fact, time is time and it happened how it was meant to. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of like, with the, I'm seeing in my head a hourglass, right? You turn that hourglass over, no matter what you do or where you go, that hourglass, that time is still turning. So it's that kind of thing, You come back, that hourglass is still doing its thing. Right. So we have ancestors, the card of ancestors here, and we have observer, and we also have protection. Now I am putting these three together for a reason. So I think that I'm definitely getting the energy here that your ancestors may have a part to play in this. Definitely, I think they are watching over you right now. So show some gratitude, some love to your ancestors because they're helping you out right now. Okay. And like this card, they could be observing from very far away. Now, this fox on the card here is sitting on an egg and he's observing the moon from afar. So they may, and with that protection card, which is why I wanted to mention it, may be helping you protect this idea. Maybe they're the ones guiding you right now. If you feel unsure about something, maybe there's a reason for that. That could be your ancestors too saying, hang on, wait a minute, revise, let's take another look at this. And they may be helping you to protect this idea, like I said, as well. Definitely they are protecting you in general right now. So, in a year's time, we're talking about a year from now as well, your ancestors are still behind you, but I do get that sense that they are with you right now as well. So be thankful for that, guys. The observer card too can be others sort of watching you if you do have an idea. Maybe people are sort of on the lookout, like, oh, be careful who you share your dreams with. And this is something that I've gone through this over and over and over and over and over, guys, really, where I am just so excited about this idea that I've had, and I blab about it to so many people, and it either doesn't work out the way I wanted it to, or somebody else wants to intervene, or somebody wants to talk me out of it, or somebody wants to take the idea and claim it as theirs, whatever. Careful of who you go to about this idea. If you do have something, you really think you're onto something and it's brewing and you're excited about it, that's fantastic, guys. But keep it for now to yourself. Because unknowingly to you, you may have people who are just like, oh, that's an interesting idea, but they'll run with it. They'll take off with it. It might be a version of, might not be exact, but just be careful of that. Yeah, be careful of that energy. Um, and so then this is a key too as to why your ancestors might be making themselves known as well. So they want to let you know, be careful of other people, who you tell your ideas to, who you share your thoughts and plans with, right? So this may be you protecting yourself as well. Right, so we do have expanded awareness as well. So I want to say, look, with the Wonders card here too, and we do have the Amethyst, and Amethyst always makes me think of that connection to spirit, and you do have your ancestors present as well. They may be sort of like opening your eyes up a little bit to some things. So literal like expanded awareness, you guys may be becoming a bit more aware. But this can be in the spiritual sense as well. So maybe for some of you guys, I'm hearing this could even be some of you getting downloads, even, right? Some of you guys getting that extra knowledge, wisdom that could be coming from your ancestors, could be coming elsewhere from the 5D or even another dimension. Yeah. So yeah, to recap here, pile 3, where you wanted to be in a year's time, right? The stability, that 4 of Wands, that coin, really in the midst of your dreams, in that, really engulfed in your dreams and, all that stuff. this is perhaps not where you thought you'd be, but maybe it's where you need to be, right? So for some of you, yeah, it's look, you've moved ahead. We talked about you being the page of coins, right? But now, look, you've got the King of Wands, right? You've got that solid plan happening with the Two of Wands. With that King of Wands energy, you're ready to make things happen. Sorry guys, I noticed my microphone was sort of up against my clothing there for a second, so I really hope that didn't annoy you or make a noise, but if it did, I do apologize. I may not be able to edit that out because, yeah, this is all stuff you need to hear. So yeah, so you may not be exactly where you thought you'd be. You may still be, considering your options. You may still be working on that solid plan. But like this card says, don't fall in love with your first idea. Maybe this is a second take for some of you, right? Maybe you're at, that idea stage. Like, I've got this idea. Now I just need to figure out how to make it happen. Maybe 12 months down the track, you've realized, okay, maybe I've had to start the plan again. Maybe I've had to start from scratch again. And you're at maybe idea number 2 or version 3 or whatever, right? But you've done the right thing by this Two of Wands energy, by being in that state of, really carefully planning to ensure that secure future that you so desire, right? That you really, really want. And to make sure that, you've got that stability, you've got that coin that you wanted, you've got that house that you wanted, you're feeling at home, again. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I can energetically get from this John Cage card. Yeah, I mean, again, again, I'm looking at that surrender to chance. Sorry, guys. So sometimes, yeah, you do. You need to just take a chance. You need to grab onto that, opportunity when it presents itself. And again, that embracing card that we had last time, it's about embracing the new, right? I did talk about it sorry, guys. You may have throat chakra issues too. Some of you may need to work on your throat chakra because I notice I'm stumbling now. Anyways, so you guys, like the previous pile, now I've lost my train of thought because I was talking about my throat chakra. Oh yes, and so in another pile, I was talking about not letting fear stop you, right? So if that's the case, let go of that fear, but just embrace the things that come. Embracing ideas as well. If new ideas come to you, if new inspiration hits, embrace that as well. Take it on. Like I said, guys, maybe this is not what you wanted to hear. Maybe this is not where you thought you'd be. But as far as I see it, it's a solid way to your stability, right? And your ancestors are there. They're present. They are helping you out. If any of you guys, I don't know how many fellow witches I have watching, but do spend some time showing some gratitude to your ancestors, guys, because they help us out so much. They really do. And if you think that your ancestors just pass on and they don't have anything to do with you or anything, like that is not the case. They're very involved. They want to help out the family and stuff. So do give them some gratitude, guys. Spend some time out in nature too. That's a good way to thank your ancestors. But generally, guys, thank you so much, pile 3. We're done with your reading. If you liked my energy and my channel, please like and subscribe. If you liked this reading and it did resonate, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you next reading. Take care, guys. Much love. Blessed be. Bye.